I am California of the past.
I am California of the past.
I am California of the past.
My name is Wallace Brown, but I went by the name of Bud when I was fishing here in San Clemente in the 50s. I was lucky enough to fish with a skipper named Sam Cordero. He was of Portuguese descent, and he had brothers working up and down the coast. He was an excellent fisherman and a really good captain. We caught a lot of black sea bass, which California black sea bass during those years. And I was very fortunate to land a very large fish. We had been fishing for the fish. Most of them were caught down around Box Canyon, which is just above the Barn Kelp, which I think most of the viewers know where that is in San Clemente. This particular fish was hooked on 130-pound test Dacron line using a large bonita as a bait. We had a Fish and Game research man that fished with us quite often because they had just put calico bass on the endangered list, and they had put a size limit, and this gentleman came out quite frequently to get scale samples and take measurements of calico bass. We had caught several black sea bass when he was on the boat, and one day he told us, he said if we ever got a large fish, he would be very happy to have it because they had never had one to do a necropsy, which is the same as an autopsy. So we caught this big fish one day, and we decided that would be a good fish to send, and we called them. They came down and picked it up. And about a month later, I got a letter from the director of Fish and Game stating the facts that they had found about this fish, which was quite interesting. The fish was 6 foot 10.5 inches long, and the day after it was caught, it weighed 432 pounds. They found the remains of 9 bonito in the stomach, and it was a female, and one sad fact was that the fish had 36 pounds of roe. They were able to age the fish by taking their stones in the head behind the eyes on each side. They're called an otholith. And by taking a very thin slice across that stone and shining polarized light through it, they were able to determine the age because it had rings, like rings of a tree, but they're very close together and difficult to count. And they said that that fish was between 63 and 70 years of age, which was remarkable. I'd say at least 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, they decided that there were too many of them being caught, and they were very slow-growing fish and grew to a great age, so they put a moratorium on California black sea bass. So today, they're still there because they chase fish to the boat like they used to, but we do not fish for California black sea bass anymore. Prior to the 1950s, there was a very little sport fishing off Southern California during the war years because a lot of the boats had been taken by the Navy for support vessels and so forth. So in the 1950s, it had just got started to pick back up. There was a tremendous amount of fish along the coast because there had been very little sport fishing. The people were ready to go, the fish were here, and we got started, and it was a great time to fish. The people were nice. We knew the people by their first name. We had regular passengers that came down during the week and on weekends, and it was a wonderful time to be in that sport fishing industry.